of the alcohol. La 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all. La 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 la. Well, my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. And every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. So order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. And every mother must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. So order up around for you and me. And you and me. And you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Everybody, welcome once again to Nerds with Alcohol. I am Russ.
And I'm Chris.
And this is episode 277. 277. Back here in the virtual nerd basement, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, CD.
Hello, CD. Excellent to see you. Mr. Smarty Pants in our gaming chat on Friday. It is a stiflingly hot Tuesday, day after Memorial Day here in Detroit. It was in the low 90s, which is kind of out of the ordinary for the end of May.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it's gonna start to cool back down and get back into normal ranges over the next 2 days. So I'm pleased about that.
Supposed to have some rain tomorrow morning. It's gonna keep things cooler. Only be in the upper 70s tomorrow.
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
Then, actually, I heard low 80s tomorrow. Wait, no, you're right. Upper 70s tomorrow, and then wait, where was it? Low 80s, and then upper 70s on Thursday, and then Friday like low 70s. Like we're in for a pretty serious cool down. I'll tell you, man.
I'm happy because that's perfect. I'm going on my golf trip this weekend. Low 70s. Yeah. It would and no rain is going to be perfect weather.
I tell you, man, the weather has been more seesaw this year than I can remember, in other years. I mean, it's been really rough lately.
It's definitely been crazy.
90, one day, and then 72 the next day, and I'm like, it's dry. My allergies are like through the roof. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know what to do, Chris. I don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, you're right. 82 tomorrow now, and then 69 on Thursday.
What the fuck? Yeah. So how was your week?
It was good. 69. 69. It was good. So much TV to watch right now, though, that we're gonna get into that, but yeah. I can't. I'm having trouble right now keeping up with everything. But nice long weekend. That was good.
Yes, quite.
Got a lot of stuff done at work. That felt good. But yeah, overall, just a good week. Kind of bummed that we had to cancel last week.
Sorry about that. I mean, sorry, but my apologies going out to everybody. That was my bad. Basically, I got stuck at work. We were doing that a lot of the last minute stuff for the Indy 500 project, which the floats ended up looking fantastic. They shipped out with zero and shipped down there with zero damage. It was great. Apparently we didn't, I didn't have to go, thankfully, but the guys that did go sent back that there was no damage or anything. But yeah, I basically, what happened is I was given the wrong wording for a sign that we had to paint. And then, so the next morning I found out, holy shit, we have to repaint this, or the next afternoon really. And because of that, because of some other things, I ended up I didn't get home. I didn't leave there until after 10:30.
This is like, originally the wording you got was NASCAR rules and you had to change it.
Yes. Unfortunately, the indie people did not appreciate my sense of humor. But yeah, so unfortunately, and it was too late notice to get a fill in or anything. So we were back, and hopefully that shouldn't happen again. So, because that sucked. The week was a powerful week. It was a weird week. There was a lot of things going on. I guess to get this out of the way, we mentioned it briefly on Tavern Nights, but our hearts and minds go out to the victims, the families of the victims in Uvalde, Texas. That happened on Tuesday of last week, when we would have probably addressed it last week briefly. But it just it was a horrible tragedy, probably one of the worst ones. I think they're saying the worst mass shooting in a school since Sandy Hook, and
some major mistakes were made.
Yeah, some major mistakes were made by the police, by the responders, and it was pretty horrible. It was pretty horrible. We don't want to get to, we try not to get too political here on this show. We try to keep things light, but when something, and as I've said before, when something this serious happens, I always feel like that I need to use this platform to say a few things. And I really feel that more strongly than ever that reform of gun laws needs to happen now.
Yes.
Like today. I'm not saying that the guns need to be taken away. I'm not saying
not saying the government's going to come for your guns. It needs to be more difficult for people to get guns than women to get birth control.
Right. They need to stop trying to legislate, women's bodies and start legislating for the safety of the kids and the people surviving now, as opposed to, making sure that that women can't have an abortion legally. It's just, this is absolutely ridiculous that this is still happening, that this kind of thing can happen. So like I said, I don't want the government to come and take your guns. What I do want is the government to make it more difficult, or at least there needs to be more safeguards put into place for getting and purchasing guns. It's too damn easy in this country to get a weapon, to get a device that can massacre entire rooms of people.
Yeah, that's right, CD. That's the thing. Down in Texas, they give out guns when you buy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's
buy a couch, get a gun. It's
a friend of mine was saying, he got a gun at he was able to buy a gun at a wild game dinner. They did some kind of lottery where his name came up, and then he was able to go over and purchase a handgun from a dealer who was basically selling some of his older stock, and he was able to purchase a fucking gun. And he sidestepped all the other, the laws, because you can go to a gun show, or you can do, there's a bunch of different things you can do to sidestep the laws that you'd normally have to do to get a gun. And that we have to stop that. That has to stop. There has to be less ways around the laws. And that's what one of my friends was saying, who is a gun owner and agrees that there needs to be more safeguards put into place.
Yeah, well, CD was saying that they had 5 mass shootings, over 4 over the weekend alone. Mm-hmm. I just looked, and countrywide, there were at least 14.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not all of them were as horrifying.
No, a mass shooting is 4 or more people shot or killed, not including the shooter.
Right.
And in this, they're saying that there at least 9 people were killed in the shootings and more than 60 injured. And there was gunfire. 6 were injured by gunfire at a high school graduation in Anniston, Alabama.
I heard something about that, yeah.
And there was a killing of 3 children under 10 and a woman dead in a private residence in Mecosta County, Michigan.
Yeah, see, I mean, this stuff is it hit me hard. I didn't realize how hard it was going to hit me. And then it did, like I came home, and I mean, for the next like 2 days afterwards, I was pretty down. I was pretty depressed about the situation because it's horrible, and it needs to stop. It needs to fucking stop. And if anything was going to take attention away from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, it was the death of 19 children and 2 teachers at a school in Texas. Matthew McConaughey is apparently from Uvalde, Texas, and he has been very vocal. I mean, the president went out there to help with the grieving families. I mean, Stella posted a video. Anderson Cooper interviewed the father of one of the children that died. He was a young man. It was just extremely sad. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but please pay attention to what's going on with your local governments. We've got midterm elections coming up soon, and see where they sit, where they set when it comes to gun reform, because this has got to change. This has got to change. They keep saying, "Oh, it's a mental health issue." It is a mental health issue. It is. It is also the fact that what this kid did, it was a mental health issue, but it's also it was way too easy for him to buy a gun issue.
That's why there should be stricter laws, because and it shouldn't be you can just walk into a store and buy a gun. The other thing is the idea that you need an assault rifle for home defense is bullshit. The best thing you can have for home defense is a shotgun, because you're shooting down hallways generally.
Yeah.
And you're more likely to use buckshot than anything else.
It's incredible. I mean, CD just wrote, here's a bad one.
Yeah.
More kids die each year from school shootings than law enforcement officers.
Yep.
I mean, so please pay attention to what your congressmen and senators and some of your local people are saying and doing. And we got to start. It starts at home. It starts in your local governments, guys. This is where we've got to make the changes. Got to start making these changes. So, I do want to move on.
Yep.
Unless you have something more to add.
Nope. As a gun owner, though, I am pushing for gun reform.
Absolutely. Thank you. We also gamed on Friday to lighten it up a bit. It was a great game. We had one combat that wasn't crazy, like it wasn't fighting a dragon.
No, but it was surprise.
But it was a surprise. We went up against half a dozen drow assassins, which I was like, wow, I hadn't seen this in a while. And it's interesting how you use drow assassins. It's very much an old school D&D kind of thing. The drow bad guys. That's because I mean, a lot of the whole, particularly in current D&D, there's that movement towards like, you can't make an entire race evil and that kind of thing. And which I kind of agree. I don't particularly like the idea that an entire race is just evil, just evil. But I can appreciate the fact that a culture that worships a dark goddess would be interpreted by other cultures as being aggressive or being you're just not fully understanding that culture. And I think I would prefer to read it as that, like the drow culture is just, it's matriarchal. Matriarchal, yeah. Matriarchal, thank you. And it's very,
which isn't what makes it evil.
No, of course not. But it is different, and it's it's aggressive. They deal with they have institutionalized slavery. They have institutionalized basically abuse,
Well, it's a caste system.
It's a caste system. It's very different from a lot of the other D&D, D&D like societies.
Yes, so, you're right, CD. Evil is more about perspective. No one is the villain of their own story.
Exactly. I mean, unless you're, killing and roasting and eating, people. And
well, the Drow are known for the Lolth worshipping Drow are known for sacrificing babies. Mm-hmm. If the second born male, I think it is sacrificed.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a spider cult. It's an evil. Yeah. I mean, it's the goddess of, she is an evil goddess. So their culture is going to probably reflect that. That being said, still, making an entire race of people seem, be evil. I liken it to like the Romulans, on Star Trek. The Romulan culture was a very kind of neutral evil kind of culture. They were very self-centered. They were self-oriented when it came to they were their family and their self-interests were more important. And it didn't necessarily make them evil, like horrible evil monsters, but it did make them, their culture, interpreted by our culture, would say that there were negative aspects to their culture. So a lot of times it's just, I think it comes from perspective. So,
there's only so much perspective on the Drow, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Menzoberranzan is not a nice place.
Not at all. No.
But that's the thing. So even in D&D back in second edition, when they came out with the Menzoberranzan box set.
Yeah.
And even then, you could be good characters and survive in Menzoberranzan. It's not easy and it's not pleasant, but it wasn't like you walked in and just got killed. Just because you were a surface dweller didn't make you immediately a target for assassination.
Right.
But that was the most common way for Drow to move up their ranks.
Correct.
In that city.
Now, on the other hand, if a Drow showed up in the middle of, just a human city or even a human town, generally run out of there on a rail. The Drow were either greatly feared, misunderstood.
Well, they conducted surface raids.
Mm-hmm. But like, how many times did Drizzt show up in some kind of town and have to put up with massive amounts of racism?
Yep.
So, anyway, it was a great game. We had a great time. There was a lot of lore dump again as well. Lots of information was had and was found. And then we got into a pretty nasty fight. So
and
it was great.
And we got set up for the next game, which you guys will be doing a heist.
We're going to be doing a heist. Yes. Now, unfortunately, I won't be there because I have a gig that night. And
I'm really bummed you're not going to be there.
So am I, man. I mean, it's going to be pretty cool. We have to break into a Wizards Guild and steal a brass monkey, a funky monkey. It's actually a bronze monkey, but I'm calling it the brass monkey because it's funnier. Mm-hmm. And we have to steal that. And then what else is it that we had to get?
Zagig's key. That's the real reason you're going in.
Right. Well, that's the real reason. But the reason why we were able to get in there the way we got in there was because
Karis is going to smite everything.
Oh yeah, at least 7 times.
Well, that's what I get. While you're gone, that's what's going to happen is you're just going to smite everything.
Makes sense.
Oh look, a level 20 wizard, smite.
Just smite him. Hey man, a level 3 smite, that's an additional 3d8 damage.
Yep. Anyway, I'm sorry, I interrupted you because I saw Renee post that. So
I'm just not going to be able to be there because I have a gig. So I will unfortunately be missing out, and I'm bummed out about it. But it was a great game as usual, guys. It's on our Twitch channel now. If you're a subscriber, you can take a look at it. Chris will be putting it up, I'm sure, on YouTube in a couple days or whatever.
I'm gonna try and get it up on Thursday. If I don't get it up on Thursday, it won't be going up until next week. So because I'm gone from Thursday night till Sunday afternoon, and
Right on.
when I get home Sunday evening, I'm gonna be ready to crash.
Right. So anyway, but we should move on. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Chris, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a beer that I found. It's another New Holland beer. Which New Holland's one of my favorite breweries. Actually, I just discovered some of their craft cocktail drinks this weekend that are really freaking good. I did one of theirs before, the blueberry lemonade. This weekend I did a couple others that were just fantastic. But this is actually one of their beers. This is Dragon's Milk, which I've done in the past, but this one is their Triple Mash, which is a 2022 release. It is triple mashed bourbon barrel aged stout, and that's the label there. So it's just kind of a gold label instead of the white. It is like all stouts, very dark, kind of a light head, very chocolatey aroma. Take a sip here.
CD, you have to have a special feat to throw a shield.
It's got a lot of chocolate flavor, a lot of roasted notes, and it's got that alcoholic warmth that goes down, because this is also 17.3%.
Jesus Christ. That's got to be the highest one, man.
It's the highest one I've done, yeah.
I think that's the highest one you've ever done.
Yep.
17.
Here's the record.
What?
17.3.
Man, you're getting into like liquor kind of and wine, or at least wine kind of ranges, aren't you?
Yeah, so I bought the Old Smoky Moonshine, one of their things, which is
He's like, oh, maybe I should have bought it.
It's I had that in my hand last weekend, but put it down. Port's 20%.
Yeah.
So the liqueur that I bought last week, the Old Smoky Mountain Banana Pudding Moonshine,
yeah,
it was really good. I had that a few weeks ago. Is 17%.
Right.
This is 0.3% higher.
That's fucked up, man. You can't like, could you imagine somebody serving this shit at Ren Fair?
Oh no, this isn't a Ren Fair beer, because also this is a beer that you just sit and sip.
Right. One bottle's enough, you know.
Yeah, this is one I'm planning. I've got 2 bottles left. I think I'm going to save them, one for next year and one for a couple of years from now, because I want to see how this changes.
You're going to let it set for that long, huh?
This high of an ABV, you can.
Oh. Wow. All right.
Most beers you don't want to, but high ABV, well, they call them high gravity beers, because the specific gravity that they use to measure the alcohol. But high gravity beers, you can let age for a time, and they actually, some of them will change characteristics. Right. A lot of them you don't want to, like IPAs and anything hoppy, you don't want that to sit because the hop oils break down within like 3 months. But these, as long as you keep them out of sunlight, and I mean they're in brown bottles, so that helps protect them. But you keep them out of sunlight and keep them in a cellar type environment, and they'll be fine for a couple of years.
Alrighty.
So I give this probably 4 3/4 stars. This is damn near perfect when it comes to a high ABV beer.
Wow. All right.
What's this say? Dragon's Milk Triple Mash is the ultimate indulgence, the result of years of honing techniques and pushing the limits of what a stout can be. Aged for 1 year in New Holland Spirits bourbon barrels, the flavors of Dragon's Milk, chocolate, roasted malt, vanilla, and oak are all amplified in a way that still allows for balance and refinement to shine through. Yeah, pretty good. This actually was looks like this was bottled last September.
Okay. Well, guys, you definitely have to check that one out if you can, and be very careful with it because it'll fuck you up.
Especially if you're a lightweight like Russ.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So I'm not a complete lightweight. I mean, I'm not you, but you know. So I am drinking something new tonight. It's something new from Blake's. They put out a pretty solid product. This is their latest. This is Peach Party. It is peach and blackberry hard cider. Well, it's an apple cider with peach and blackberry.
Interesting combo.
Yeah. Now it skews a little bit closer to the sweet on the dry to sweet scale. And now I have never been a big peach guy. When I was a kid, I never really liked them, not a whole lot. I've come to appreciate them a little bit later in life. It was just one of those flavors. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a peach person.
I like peach juice. I don't care for peaches themselves. Just like eating a peach, I never really cared for.
Exactly. Now this is lovely. It's very nice. The blackberry, there's a bit of a tartness to the blackberry that balances the peach sweetness, and it just says peach and love up at the top, you know. And,
well, yeah, it looks like it's very 60s themed. It's like it's like the beach party movies from the 60s.
Yeah, sure. It has a 6.5 ABV. So on the higher side, but on the kind of, you know, fairly normal for a lot of the ciders.
17.3.
I know, you win. You fucking win. Just shut up. Sweet peach and bold blackberry, a cider with a story. BlakesHardCider.com if you want to check that out. It's a nice cider. I would put it up there with a lot of their other, you know, fruit ciders like Rainbow Seeker and say Shoresy and some of the other ones that are really great. This is lovely. I'd buy this again. I'd totally buy this again. And like I said, I'm surprised that this peach cider is something that I'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. You know. So yeah, you want to check this one out, guys. It's brand new. I mean, it ain't cheap. I paid almost $14 for the 6-pack, but wow. I mean, it could also be the shop that I go to. But yeah, this stuff is it's nice.
I'll give that a try.
Like I said, the blackberry very much balances the sweetness of the peach.
If you like blackberry, you'd like one of the those craft cocktails I got this weekend.
Yeah,
those are 7% each. It was a blackberry vodka one.
Okay.
It was outstanding to the point where Renee had one. She's like, "Oh, this is dangerous. This could be in our house all the time."
That's the thing about these craft cocktails, bottled and canned craft cocktails that they're doing. That they're tasty, but and they're kind of cool. But a lot of people don't realize some of them are on the stronger side. You know, it is a cocktail that you're drinking. This is not a cocktail you're meant to drink. You know, I mean, it depends on the cocktail. Some cocktails are in a bigger glass or whatever. But quite often, a cocktail is in a smaller glass. It's not made. You're not made to drink 12 ounces of necessarily of this cocktail. So you gotta be a little bit careful. I mean, there was I almost bought one of them when I was at the liquor store for Stella. I was like, man, that's $14. No. If that's the case, I'll get her a bottle of wine, a decent bottle of wine, or whatever.
So that's my thing. I've thought about, I'm like, for that price, I'll just buy a bottle of the New Holland vodka. Yeah, and a thing of blackberry juice, and
make it yourself. Fuck.
But CD said he's having Fruitwood, and he described it as miraculous and outstanding. I haven't had Fruitwood in a couple of years. I thought it was okay when I had it. I'll have to try it again.
Only 8% though. Yeah, only 8%. CD, that's really high ABV. Yeah, it's a very high ABV. It's not 17.3, of course.
It's all right. Yeah, I don't remember them being in maple bourbon barrels the last time I had it. I thought it was just aged in bourbon barrels, but maybe it was maple bourbon barrels.
You know what? I mean, I've tried a lot of whiskeys and whatnot of late that have had those, or the last few years we're talking about, that have been aged in maple barrels and stuff. And I gotta say, I love that flavor. It has a really good
I've still got a bottle of CBS from about 4 or 5 years ago now. I think maybe 3, because it might have been 2019, just before the pandemic. But it's one of those that it's aged in maple. It's aged in bourbon barrels that had previously held maple syrup.
Right.
So basically, they're bourbon barrels that then they put maple syrup into. They drain the maple syrup and then they put the beer in it. And
yeah, or wouldn't be like maybe the maple syrup first and then the bourbon barrels and then the beer?
No, it was bourbon, then maple syrup, then beer. Because they wanted the maple syrup to take on the bourbon flavor.
They don't just like toss the syrup, do they? Do they?
No, they use it. They bottle it.
Okay.
They bottle it as bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. You can buy that in the stores too. That's freaking amazing.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I would say, man, that's a waste of syrup if they're just going to use it to like flavor the fucking barrel, you know? That's weird. So anyway, guys, you want to check this out? Peach Party from Blake's Hard Cider. And Chris, yours again was?
Dragon's Milk Triple Mash.
Dragon's Milk Triple Mash. Okay. If you really want to get yourself fucked up,
have a couple of those.
I try 2 of those. Because it'll fuck you up. We should move on, man. We got a lot to talk about because we missed last week.
Yep. Well, something that happened after our show last week that we can start off with just to get it out of the way because it's another bummer news. Ray Liotta passed away.
Right. 67.
Yep.
Passed away in his sleep. Have you heard any news as to if they have released like what happened?
No, I have not heard anything about what happened. I just saw that he had passed away. No cause of death that I had seen, but that one, well, I didn't see everything that he was in. Everything I saw him in, I liked.
Right. Yeah. He was definitely a prolific actor, did a lot of different kinds of stuff. He was very well known for being for one of the lead characters in Goodfellas.
Which was what CD just said, Goodfellas, yeah.
He was
Ray Donovan.
Right, he was Ray Donovan. He's done a lot of. He was in one of the sequels to Silence of the Lambs. He was in more recently. He was in one of Adam Sandler's films, and which Hubie Halloween, I think, if I remember correctly. Which not great, but also it's okay. And even more recently, he was in the Sopranos prequel movie, The Saints of Newark, and it was really fantastic. So
he's probably best known for Goodfellas, but
yeah, probably But he was also I remember he played Frank Sinatra in this Rat Pack movie that was really fucking good.
Well, according to IMDb, he had 2 movies that he was currently filming.
Yeah. He was working on. He died while he was working on a film. So
he was in the series Blackbird, which is completed, but I don't think it's been released yet.
He had been working with J-Lo on that show that she was on, where she was an undercover cop or something like that, if I remember correctly. The dude, like I said, the guy was really prolific. He was a hell of an actor, and
he was on an episode of Young Sheldon.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And like I said, at 67, he still had some time. He still had a number of years that for him to continue on his career, and it's just sad.
Well, he's in Sin City: A Dame to Kill For.
God,
I still haven't seen that.
I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, that's funny. I saw the first Sin City. I just don't think I ever got around to watching the second one.
Muppets Most Wanted.
He was in that. Yeah.
Big Papa.
So raising our glasses, raising our drinks to Ray Liotta.
I totally forgot he was actually in an episode of The League too, which is the fantasy football show that I used to watch.
Right. Mm-hmm. To Ray Liotta.
To Ray Liotta. Thanks for all the memories.
Getting more and more common that we're doing this, and that sucks. So
but to move on.
Move on.
One of the other things, The League was great, CD. I love that show. One of the things that came out last week was the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, the new one.
Oh yeah, the newer one. This one was great. It
is longer.
It's the true trailer. The previous one was the teaser.
Yeah, and holy shit, I am really looking forward to this movie.
Me too. We actually got to see images of Gore the God Butcher, who is the villain in the film, played by Christian Bale. We got to see more interaction between Thor and Jane, which kind of establishing more about how she's kind of like, how long ago was it? Like 24 years? And he's like 8 years.
Well, yeah, in so many days, blah, blah, blah. But what that tells me is Jane got dusted.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a 5-year difference. She says 3 years, he says 8.
Yeah. And it's true. It's probably the case. We did get to see her utilizing Mjolnir a little bit more. Apparently, what happens is, you see Mjolnir in the first trailer, and it's obviously been repaired. It's the shards of Mjolnir. They put it back together, and they, fixed it with essentially like glue, essentially with for lack of a better term,
cosmic glue.
Cosmic glue, yeah. Similar to how you repair, like how they used to repair pottery in Japan using like a mixture of gold and metal and stuff like that. The Mjolnir has been reforged, and what happens in one of the clips is that she's able to control it to the point where the shards break apart, hit opponents, then come back together again and reform.
Well, and they also show it where Thor is fighting, and he's like, Mjolnir! And he reaches out, and it goes, and it gets like 6 inches from his hand, and then flies back to her. Right? Back to her.
And so, you can see that he obviously misses his old buddy. But, honestly, as replacement hammers go, Stormbreaker is pretty fucking fantastic.
Oh, Stormbreaker's pretty badass.
Yeah. It's actually a maul, I believe is what they call it, because it's actually it has an axe blade on one side.
Yep.
So we also see more interaction with Zeus, and the shit looks even funnier.
Yeah, they show Thor like a prisoner with a blue robe on, and he's held down with lightning chains, basically. Lightning
chains, which cracks me up with that God, that Thor is also a lightning based
god. Yep.
God.
And Zeus is like, now we'll see who you really are. We'll get that costume off. Flick. Yeah, and his whole thing comes off, and it's all like fuzzed out. His lower region is all fuzzed out.
And it's like, you flick too hard. And of course, all of the like female gods and goddesses surrounding Zeus all just faint.
Yeah. And Valkyrie and Jane are sitting over on the side, and Jane's like, should we help him? And Valkyrie's like, in a minute. You want a grape?
Grape, yeah. Now, the other funny thing is, if you zoom in close and you take a look, Thor has a bunch of tattoos on his back. And one is like Loki's helmet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of like tattoos on his back. Thor has obviously been through some shit. I love the fact that this movie...
It starts off with Korg telling, all right, kids, grab your popcorn.
Yeah.
And he talks about how Thor went from dad bod, and he's showing like doing the chains.
God bod.
The God bod.
Yeah. He's doing a resistance pull. He's pulling against the Milano. It's like, and he's doing like CrossFit with, huge chains instead of ropes.
With the trucker hat.
His God, it gets his God body back, and I think it looks fucking fantastic. I mean, we're gonna see Thor on a journey. He's on like a personal journey of discovery, and he's gonna figure out. I think he's gonna figure out that, hey, still a god, still a hero, still big time hero. I still would love to see Hercules be introduced in this movie, but I don't think we're gonna see that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Seeing Hercules introduced into the MCU would be fantastic, and I would love to see that. But I think it's too much on top of also bringing in Jane Foster. Now, at the same time, I have a hard time seeing the actress who plays Jane,
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, thank you, doing like a bunch of movies like that. I just don't see her doing a shit ton.
No, I think this is a one shot.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to see her again. I think, or if we see Valkyrie kind of take over as like as Guardian presence on the Avengers, that'd be cool too. But I just don't think we're gonna see Natalie Portman take on this role for multiple films. You know, in the front, maybe one. Maybe she'd do it again one more time. But I just don't see it happening. I will say too, she looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. Thor looks great. The new Thor, the new costumes that they're wearing looks great. And Christian Bale looks fucking scary as fuck as Gore. So
yeah, he really does.
I'm looking forward to see him his take on this particular villain. So we shall see. So Thor Love and Thunder coming out in early July. I believe the July like 3rd or 4th. I don't think it's
July 4th. I think it's
it's not the 4th. Rarely does a movie open on the 4th.
July 8th.
July 8th.
That's what I thought.
Right after. All right. Guys, check that out. Thor Love and Thunder. The same weekend, or the same week, or within the same couple of days, we got also a trailer for one of the next Marvel show that's going to come after Ms. Marvel. I think there's a little break.
Yeah, I think this is October
after Ms. Marvel.
That we're getting this one.
August.
Is it August? Okay.
August.
Then there's not going to be much of a break. There may be a 2-week break.
Not a huge break, yeah.
Maybe a month at most.
Yeah. Is She-Hulk. We're getting a She-Hulk. The She-Hulk show is coming to us 9 episodes, right around a half an hour apiece. Now, this is the first one that of these lengths. Previously, the shows have all been almost an hour. Or an occasionally a couple of them. WandaVision shows were around close to an hour. They weren't half an hour.
Yeah, they
episodes.
They were half-hour shows. They were just like a sitcom.
Are you sure? It seems short. I know the last one wasn't. The last one was closer to an hour. This is the finale.
30 to 50 minutes.
30 to 50 minutes. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Was the running times.
So I think the last one was longer. But I could have swore a couple of them probably ran a little longer. Well, it doesn't matter. Even so. But there was also, I think.
But again, there was 9 episodes for that one.
There's 9 episodes of that. So 9 episodes of She-Hulk. We're going to have roughly half an hour episodes. This show is meant to be a little funnier. It obviously looks like it's going to be funnier just from the trailers. And from what I can understand, what I know, that's the thing. I love She-Hulk as a character in the comics too. And her character has been, since the late 80s, has been a character that has been a little more irreverent. In her comic books, she used to break the fourth wall a lot. She talked to the reader. A lot of the stories were way out there, even for comic book stories. A lot of people talk about Deadpool being the first superhero to know he was in a comic book. She-Hulk actually predated that. She used to, like I said, she would address the reader like they were, part of the story. So now some of her adventures in her solo book were not necessarily considered completely canon, but there were also kind of meant to be kind of tongue-in-cheek. One of the things that was evident in this show, besides that, we've got Tatiana Maslany. Before I get into that, we've got Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black playing
phenomenal actress
playing the titular role of Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, a cousin to Bruce Banner, and she in the comic book she is attacked by mobsters. Essentially, she is a lawyer, and she's attacked by mobsters. And to save her life, Bruce has to perform an emergency blood transfusion. and that in turn passes his gamma radiation or gamma radiated power to her. Now, in the original comic books, she would also transform when she got angry or scared, and she would turn herself and she would become the Savage She-Hulk, which was essentially just a much taller, more angry version of herself. Later, as her powers kind of and her personality and whatnot kind of settled, and it became more like, well, it's just Jennifer Walters and she's just bigger and green and strong. She goes from being 5'4" to being 6'7" and super strong. And in the comics, they had also established that Jennifer was she was like the lawyer for all the superheroes. If they didn't get Matt Murdock to,
it wasn't Murdock and Nelson.
If it wasn't Murdock and Nelson, it was She-Hulk.
Or Nelson and Murdock, actually.
Nelson Murdock. She was known to also be a bit of a party girl. She was meant to be a kind of promiscuous and provocative. She joined the Avengers and later joined the Fantastic Four and filled in for the Thing when he left the team for a while. She was actually part of the Fantastic Four for quite a number of years, and that kind of helped kind of establish her even further. She as a superhero that kind of fits in with a lot of places. She's beloved among the characters. She's beloved among the fans. Now, one of the complaints that people were making was that in the initial trailer, the CGI looked rough, that it wasn't quite finished, or it was just not quite right. And I have to agree. I have to admit that it still looked a little rough. Now, me personally, I was like, well, they still have a couple months to polish things up. Maybe they got this trailer out and weren't quite done, or some of the things or whatever. If you look at the trailer on Disney Plus, they have since improved it, and it's not like huge amounts of improvement, but it is definitely you can see it does look a lot better. And people were like, well, they got it right with the Hulk. How could they fuck it up with She-Hulk? Well, they already had done it with the Hulk. They already had been working with Mark Ruffalo, and they'd gotten it all squared away, and they had all the formulas down, and all the, essentially all the work on the computer had already been done. Now they've got to do it again for Tatiana Maslany. So, and in all honesty, they got to computer generate hair and make it look good, because she has long hair. So there's that. That's a very difficult thing to do. But it's like I said, it has improved. There was also a lot of criticism as to why we don't have a hugely muscled She-Hulk. Why is she not like massive like the Hulk is? Okay, it's a fair question. From what I understand, they did originally want her to be even more ripped and cut. The creators of this show, Disney asked them to pull back. They wanted her to be a bit more sexy and not like, completely ripped full of muscle, which I think that's too bad. She-Hulk also, traditionally, her longest running kind of form has been tall, sexy fitness chick. She was not until more recently was she depicted as like a massive, huge, truly female version of the Hulk. And even so now, more recently, she's gone back to her more traditional form. In the last 5 years or so, they've established that She-Hulk had become a little more fluid in her different transformations. So me personally, I'm really excited about this show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I believe it actually is supposed to take place during the snap. A lot of people were speculating, because in the trailer, the Hulk's arm is fine. If you remember in Endgame, when he snapped wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, his arm came out damaged, very kind of burned up, and it was still that way, and his arm was still in a sling, even in Shang-Chi of the Ten Rings, where he's still in his Bruce Banner form, but his arm is still in a sling. And they had stated that the Hulk's arm was probably now permanently damaged to the point
He
where
wasn't. I thought he was Smart Hulk in that.
in what Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
No, he had actually was back to his Bruce Banner form. Now, a lot of people were like also speculating, okay, why? Why did he suddenly change back? You know, I thought they'd established that his Smart Hulk form was now his full form, his natural form. But apparently he changed back. So a lot of people are hoping that there's going to be some kind of resolution to that. They're going to figure that out. We also have seen images of the Abomination from the Hulk film. Tim Roth, played by Tim Roth, is going to be in the film as well.
Yeah, he's coming back for it.
Right, he came back for it. So I'm fucking excited, man. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. 9 episodes starting August 7th or 17th, I think, somewhere in there. I think it's 17th. So we got mid-August.
Yeah.
Oh, Dutch is here. I didn't even see.
Yeah.
How you doing there, buddy? I'm waiting for something like this. Yeah, She-Hulk. Me too, man. She-Hulk is the shit.
August 17th.
I've always liked her. August 17th. Between series, shows, and movies, you can't expect them to pour that much money into the series. I agree. Like, I mean, they're going to put money into it. It's going to, you know, I mean, they've got 2 major, like, well, they've got at least one that's going to be in it all the time, majorly kind of CG characters. We've got other characters like the Abomination and the Hulk showing up in it from time to time. There's probably going to be some of the characters that she's going to fight, like Titania, are going to be CGI to some extent as well. So there's going to be this show's going to have a pretty serious budget. There were a lot of people who were like, well, shit, if this is going to have a budget, why couldn't the trailer be right? You know, why was it the CG not quite ready? Well, you know, maybe it just wasn't quite ready. I don't know. I don't make these fucking things.
So, but speaking of that same sort of thing, in that same vein, we also got
moving right along.
Yeah, we got confirmation that Daredevil is going to be coming to Disney Plus. That they are in the works of making a new Daredevil show. It's actually going to be a continuation of the previous show.
Mm-hmm.
And
featuring Charlie Cox.
Yep, and Charlie Cox will be Matt Murdock / Daredevil, which I'm ecstatic about because I think he was amazing as Daredevil. And I loved him in Spider-Man with the I'm a really good lawyer. That was just a great line.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Just, how'd you do that? I'm a really good lawyer. I mean, he got it before Spidey did, you know?
Yeah, he caught it before Peter reacted. Well, Peter started to react and...
Yeah. So, yeah. Super excited about that. And that opens the door for a return of Jessica Jones and possibly a return of Luke Cage. Now, they've actually have said, too, that Michael Coulter, who played Luke Cage in the previous shows, is not interested in returning. I think he's too tied up with some other things he's working on.
Well, he's got the show Evil.
Yeah. Right. Which is a shame because I thought he did a fantastic job. He really
you want to recast Danny Rand, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. I mean, I think, like I said again, and I've said this before, I think that show suffered from poor writing. I think
poor choreography
and poor fight choreography, particularly in the first season. Now, we saw a substantial improvement in season 2 of Iron Fist. A substantial improvement, both in storytelling and in fight choreography. I got to say, at the same time, I think it was too little, too late. I think they really needed to knock that one out of the park on the first go. Mm-hmm. And I mean, a lot of times I'm very forgiving about shows saying, sometimes the first season, you know, you don't always have it the first time around. You got to give it a little time. I think they really missed the mark on season 1 with Iron Fist, and it just cast a pall on it for the second season. So, but I really would love to see all of these characters return and to have be tied a little bit more tightly into the MCU. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd really like to see that. That was one of the things that really bugged me, honestly, about the Netflix shows, was that they were very cursory kind of involvement with the MCU.
when the first season of Daredevil, they were trying to tie it in loosely,
little bits here and there. There was
by mentioning
of
the incident. Yeah, and how they were, and that was what Kingpin was doing, was he was buying up things and rebuilding after the incident,
which was the invasion of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
With D'Onofrio coming in Hawkeye as Kingpin, that also opens it up for the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that was really the big opening right there.
And I don't care. I mean, I know what the end of Hawkeye was, and with the whole shots fired, Kingpin's not dead though.
Nah.
They're not going to bring D'Onofrio in just for that.
Right.
Plus, he loves playing Kingpin. He
loves playing that role. He really does, and he's great at it.
He's
really good. So, yeah, definitely watch, if you can, watch the go back or watch the Netflix ones. They're all on Disney Plus now.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely well worth it. It's well worth it. Particularly, I'd say Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage as well. The other ones, if you want to watch for flavor or watch for additional, I mean, Punisher was pretty good too.
Punisher was good.
I've just never been a big Punisher guy, you know.
Iron Fist, I wasn't crazy about either one. Defenders was okay. It kind of tried to.
I actually liked, like I said, I liked Iron Fist in season 2 because he really started to bring in some of these other characters like Misty Knight and Colleen Wing,
mm-hmm.
and we got to see more with the Night Nurse. You know, Rosario Dawson's character. She was great, and then you saw that, and then the Defenders had some pretty awesome moments too. So Sigourney Weaver was a great villain in those in the Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely well worth the watch on a lot of those. So yeah, there's that.
So
superhero.
Yep.
Superhero.
And superhero. Not so superheroes. The Boys premieres this Friday.
Oh my God.
Season 3.
Cannot wait. So fucking good.
It's one of those where I can't wait, but yet I know the cringe factor that is in there.
There's going to be more, apparently, from what I've been hearing.
But
this season's going to be rough.
I am interested in seeing Soldier Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing how that all happens.
That's played by Jensen Ackles from made famous by Supernatural.
Dean Winchester.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I am looking forward to that, and then along with that, we have Ms. Marvel next Wednesday.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a lot of stuff coming.
There's
right now.
A lot of stuff to watch. Yes.
We also got. I'm kind of speeding through these because we're already at like almost an hour, and we still have tons of stuff. So
right.
And I really kind of want to spend some time talking about Obi-Wan. So but the Willow trailer came out as well. And
I got the feels, man. It gave me the feels.
I know that that's going to be a show that's going to be aimed at more
families
of a youthful and family audience, but still, I saw that and I'm like, holy shit, that
I got like I said,
awesome.
I got the feels, man. I got chills. They're bringing back Joanne Whalley, who played Sorsha. I obviously
the Brownies are back. I don't know if
the Brownies are back. I doubt it's the same dudes, but
Mad Mardigan will not be back.
Yeah. Well, Val Kilmer's not doing all that great. You know, I mean, But
I think what they're doing is I think they're doing Mad Mardigan's son is going to be the.
Is that what it is?
I think it's his son is the hero in this.
Yeah, that's makes sense, I guess. But yeah, Val Kilmer has been struggling with cancer, throat cancer. I don't know how well he's doing. I know that I believe there is a cameo of him in the new Top Gun movie, or at the very least, there's pictures of him.
I know there's a picture because he's an admiral or something like that. And
or something.
He's like one of the higher ups because he's the one that actually gets Tom Cruise to come back. Right,
exactly. Tom Cruise's character Maverick is like a captain at the best. He hasn't gotten past, which is still a pretty great, it's a pretty good rank to have, but he's a naval aviator, so maybe it's not captain, I don't know, but he's definitely ranked up, but he's not he's not where he could be for a man his age. So, and speaking of that, I've never been a huge Tom Cruise fan. I got to admit, I do like some of his movies, but I've never liked him personally. But his movie did very well this weekend. Top Gun Maverick continues to soar at the box office, breaking a 15-year record over Memorial Day weekend. Despite that success, however, there are currently no plans in place for Top Gun 3. Thank God. Top Gun Maverick raked in $156 million over the 4-day weekend, which makes the sequel not only the best performing opening for Tom Cruise's career, but also best the previous Memorial Day box office record set in 2007 by Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. That's Pirates of the Caribbean 3. My sister saw it. She said it was really good. I mean, Top Gun was one of those movies that everybody saw when we were kids. I think I was like a younger teenager when that came out. Everybody fucking saw Top Gun because it had everything. You know, it had the romantic angle for the ladies and for the people that really were into that. And that when we were a kid, there were fighter pilots, for fuck's sake. You know, it was incredible. It had the tragic loss of his partner Goose and, you know, his co-pilot. I mean, there's so much in that movie. And I think we're going to see something similar in this one. So I'm not going to run out and see Top Gun Maverick, but I'll probably catch it when it goes to stream.
I will definitely watch it. I truly loved Top Gun.
Everybody did. I did. Everybody did.
Me and my buddy were Maverick and Goose. We were.
I feel like that movie probably is the movie that sealed Tom Cruise's career.
Mm-hmm.
That is the movie, because he had done some stuff before. He had done a few things. You know, he'd been in Legend, and he had been in some other things as a young actor. But he'd been in the Outsiders. He'd done a bunch of stuff. But when he finally nailed Top Gun, that was what that put him over the top. That made him a superstar.
Yeah, me and my buddy used to do we did 2-on-2 beach volleyball, and we were good. And we would do the thing, and we even pulled the bar scene, the "You Never Close Your Eyes" anymore.
Oh no,
we actually pulled that once. Yep,
you did not.
We did. Yep.
Who did you sing to?
Actually, it was one of our teachers. We were in high school at the time. She was young. She was just out of school.
I used to respect you, Chris.
By the way, so I was looking and I found an article that says that Mad Mardigan will be in the Willow Show.
No shit.
It said that because they were shooting during the COVID-19 lockdowns, he wasn't able to come to Wales and shoot with us, but he is in the show in a big way, and we're pretty excited about it. Mad Mardigan lives on.
All right. I just and
that's from the executive producer.
Mm-hmm. Val Kilmer came to Comic-Con. The last Comic-Con we had before COVID here in Detroit, and because we did have one back in October, but that's still, you know, we're still COVID times. But yeah, Val Kilmer came, and unless you paid the extra money to go and see him, you didn't get to see it. He wasn't out and about because he had been fighting, you know, his cancer, dealing with the whole cancer thing. He had his compromised immune system. He chose to be like kind of behind like a screen for the most of the time. But I did have some friends that got pictures with him, so I do know he was there. He was there. But I mean, the guy had throat cancer. It's a very difficult cancer to treat. So I don't know what his state is right now, but one of these days I am going to watch that. Like, he made a self-documentary pretty much about his career and his life. And I believe it's on Amazon. I'll check that out. I think it's just called Val.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing something about that.
Mm-hmm. So to move on real quick before we get into Obi, real quick, I just wanted to say for the comic fans out there, Joe Quesada, who's one of the biggest names in Marvel Comics for quite a long time, has retired from Marvel Comics after a career of over 20 years with the publisher. In 2000, I believe it was, they took a big risk on him, making him the editor-in-chief. He's got a career of around more than 30 years. So he had actually been an artist for Marvel Comics for quite a while before that, but then they made him the editor-in-chief. His first work came in 91 with the story and the humorous comic What The, and followed by 92 Sleepwalker number 12, which led to Quesada's first full arc as an artist on X Factor from 87 to 90. Numbers 87 to 90. And then in 98, he landed his first executive title at Marvel Comics as editor-in-chief for the newly created Marvel Knights line. Okay, so he was the editor of the Marvel Knights line, and then eventually became like the full-on editor-in-chief of all of the books. He made some really big changes, made some big moves in Marvel. A lot of people credit what Quesada did, particularly in the early aughts, to basically kind of recover a lot of the damage that had been done to Marvel in the 90s. If you'll remember, Marvel filed for bankruptcy at one point, and not Chapter 11, but like Chapter 7 reorganization, I think, or something like that. So he's one of the most influential creatives in comics. He's a big fucking deal. So, but apparently he's leaving and now he's gonna work in movies, I guess, is his deal. I mean, additionally, Quesada promised further creative projects, including a short film that he is writing and directing. He'll continue to occasionally contribute to the publisher, including an upcoming unannounced project that he's teased several times. So he's not retiring completely, but he is retiring from being a regular staff member at Marvel Comics. It's a big deal. Joe Quesada leaving Marvel, leaving the Marvel family for the time, for now. Okay. Oh, real quick too. I binged Shoresy.
I watched the first 3 episodes, so we're halfway through.
I binged Shoresy on Saturday. I don't think we need to necessarily analyze it. It's one of those shows you either like or you don't. I do feel it was funny, but it was not as funny as regular Letterkenny.
Well,
for those of you guys who don't know,
Shoresy is I don't know that Shoresy can carry a show. He's funny in Letterkenny for the little 30 seconds that he's in the episodes.
Yeah, when he's chirping at the guys
And but as someone to carry a show, I just don't think it's there.
Yeah. I do like that they do. I mean, they definitely added a lot to his character. They made him a little more emotional. He cries like a baby during the national anthem, and he gets all fucking teary-eyed a couple of different points.
Well, I love the whole thing about when they go to the jail the prison to get the tough fucking natives.
To get the gyms.
Well, but the tough fucking natives, he's like, "What's your names?" Jim. You're all Jim. All right, we're gonna have to come up with next.
Those are our names.
We want to be called our names. How about Jimmer, Jimmy, Jim Bob?
No, we want to be called Jim. All right, you're all called Jim then. It's just all right, fine. I mean, honestly, I'm really digging a lot of the supporting characters, they say his name. They say his name all the time.
I like the guy from Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Newfoundland? You never call him a Newfie.
Yeah, you never call him a Newfie. Yeah, the guys that so basically to give you guys a bit of a rundown, the team, Shoresy is playing in a very small professional adult league called
senior hockey.
Senior hockey in Canada. It's very important. There's a lot of sounds like there's a lot of small professional leagues. There's 4 teams in this league, and that's it.
It's the Northern Ontario Senior Hockey Organization, the No-Show.
That's right. Right. So there's 4 teams, and apparently his team has been doing the worst. They were 20-0 or 0-20, and
no, it's 20. Is that what it was? I thought it was a 20-game season, and it was
20-game season, and they had lost almost all of them.
Yeah, they had 4 games left.
They had 4 games left, and he looks at the owner. She's like, if we lose, we're folding the team. And he's like, we will never lose again. And he's like, I don't want to win. I don't want to lose. So basically, he brings in some ringers to kind of finish out the team, finish out the season.
One of which is from Letterkenny.
Which one?
Jean JJ.
Yeah.
John Frank. He was.
Jean,
yeah. Jean Van Jean or something, whatever.
Jean Francois Valjean or something like that.
Yeah.
Frank JJ or something.
Yeah, because he actually does the whole slashing thing in Letterkenny.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So he did show up. There's some cameos from some actors. A couple of actors from Letterkenny do show up, like the guy that plays the Amish neighbor. He shows up later on as a whole different character. And at first I was like, man, I didn't recognize him, but he didn't have the beard, so I didn't recognize him. Also, the actor that plays what's the gay guy? The one, Glenn? Not the one that Glenn. Thank you. Yeah, the actor who plays Glenn. He shows up at one point. And what's really cool for those of you guys,
I haven't seen either of those yet.
Right, they're later. They're like second to last episode, and then also we get to see one of the actors from Kids in the Hall has a cameo. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Okay. Basically a family reunion for Shoresy, and you get to see Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall. I don't want to ruin too much because I know because it's actually that's really fucking funny, and it actually explains a lot as to why Shoresy is the way he is. I also like it delved a little bit more into why Shoresy is the way he is, and I really got a kick out of that. But I think you're right, Chris. I think this show appeal very much to hockey fans, very much to Canadians, honestly. And it'll probably appeal to a lot of Letterkenny fans that like Letterkenny and everything. But we'll have to see if it goes another season. Because,
his snipping is funny. Like, because I mean, him doing it as a ref is just chirping, yeah, to the young hockey players.
Oh man, it's amazing how good he is. Man. Yeah, he can tear you apart with 5 words, man. It's crazy.
But anyway, so also that another show that started on Friday and actually released the first half of the first season is Stranger Things season 4.
Oh, okay, yeah, great. Yeah.
And I've watched the first episode because I sat down to watch it on Sunday. And I was going to watch it while I had lunch, and I figured, okay, it's like an hour show. No, it's an hour and 15 minutes for the first episode.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But Netflix actually put a warning at the beginning saying, we filmed this over a year ago, but the opening, with current events, the opening scene may be disturbing for some viewers.
In reference to Uvalde.
Well, yeah, and that exactly is what it was referencing, because it's a bunch of kids that get killed at the beginning.
And they also talk about that was people were calling out the opening scene in the first episode of Obi-Wan as being insensitive as well, because it starts off
with Order 66.
With Order 66 at the academy, at the temple, where the little kids and whatnot. So
the
younglings, and it's guys, they didn't know. Nobody knew. Who knew? That wasn't. You can't. And those are both. I'm sure I didn't watch the Stranger Things yet, but I'm sure it was an important scene. So
it is. It sets things up. It goes back in the past and sets things up. But so far, I liked the first episode. It shows the characters growing. There's an issue I have with it, and it's that the kids are definitely too old to be playing the characters that they're playing now.
Yeah. Because
they're supposed to be in like 14 years old and just getting into high school.
And they all look like they're 16 or older.
They all look like they're 17, 18, 20.
Well, that's the thing. They all are.
I know.
They're all like 18 and older now.
Yeah. But yeah, they definitely don't look like they're 14-year-olds.
And that's too bad, because I believe they're saying that's probably the last season.
It is. This is the wrap up. But this new character Eddie that they've introduced, he's like the head of the Hellfire Club, the new D&D group that the guys get into when they get into high school. Long-haired drug dealer type guy. Burnout got a DO patch on his denim vest and
holy dime.
Yeah, and he's got a wasp pin on the front. But I like his character so far. He honestly, in some of the scenes, he actually reminded me of a young Robert Downey Jr. Like back in like the Back to School days and
Back to School and Weird Science.
Yeah. Well, not so much Weird Science, because in Weird Science he was a dick, but in Back to School he was kind of like that outsider that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. I still have not seen. I'm bad. I haven't watched season 3 of Stranger Things. I keep meaning to go back and watch it. Maybe I'll move push that one up to the front of the line there.
Well, I got to go and watch season 2 of Love, Death, and Robots, and then watch season 3 of Love, Death, and Robots.
I got to watch I've watched season 2. I got to go and watch season 3 of that. Once again,
I
as we
know I don't have to watch them in order, but I mean, I still want to see season 2 before I see.
Actually, from what I understand, one of the episodes in season 3 is a continuation of one of the episodes in season 2.
It's actually an episode in season 1.
Or was it season 1?
Yeah,
with the robot and the cats.
It's the robot and the cats. Yeah, the tourist robots. Yeah, that's from season 1, because I remember that one. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
It's vibrating. Is it gonna blow up?
You might, but just sit real still there. Yeah. I love how the one robot just keeps fucking with the other ones.
So there were some other things I wanted to talk about. I don't think we're gonna get to the TV shows again this week. I think we'll have to wait on that.
Yeah, we'll get on to continue on our list of 100 best TV shows. That'll come later.
And I think our discussion of Mordenkainen Presents the Monsters of the Multiverse might have to wait on that too, because I do want to get into Obi-Wan. And we had the first 2 episodes drop.
Oh my god! I gotta say, Chris. I mean, I know you've probably got some things because you are so much more versed in all of the canon than I am. I mean, I love Star Wars, and I've said, and I'm a pretty decent. I know my way around Star Wars pretty well. But you are the expert when it comes to it, because you've watched everything Star Wars. I still have to watch like Rebels and Clone
I actually
Wars
haven't watched Rebels
like
yet.
That. Well, I still got to watch Clone Wars and Rebels and shit. But I got to tell you, this was quality Star Wars for me. This was good stuff. This is a good start.
I liked it. My issue comes in the second episode. The first episode I thought was good. I thought it was solid. It established who he is and the mundane life that he's leading. And the boring ass life that he's leading. They also established that Lars doesn't want him around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I like that they got the same actor back to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Owen and his
it's Uncle Owen. That's what
Uncle Owen.
Owen.
Owen. Yeah. Owen and Baru. They got that same actor back to play him. I was like, that's great. I love that they got now I loved how Ewan McGregor definitely, I mean, you got to talk about an actor who has aged well. You know?
And so that's one of the issues I've seen people say is that, so this is 10 years after Return or after Revenge and 10 years before New Hope. So in 10 years, he goes from looking like he does now to looking like Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
That's hard
living. That's hard. Now we have to adjust for things, of course, I mean.
But Tatooine is hard. It's hard living in the desert.
It's a hard life, man. It's a hard life. carving the meat off of a huge, downed animal. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Still, when you really think about it, I mean, you got to adjust for certain things. Certain actors are going to, of course, look different. I got to say, I've always loved how Ewan McGregor has done his best to affect like the speech patterns of Sir Alec Guinness, when he established as Obi-Wan. You know, I mean, he doesn't do like an Alec Guinness voice. He does his own voice, his own version of Obi-Wan, but he very much kind of still emulates the speech patterns that Alec Guinness set up for Obi-Wan. And I thought that was really cool. And I really like the fact that this shows he's a broken man. He has lost his connection to the Force, or at least it's weakened a great deal. He's spent 10 years struggling on Tatooine or wherever else he's been. Was trying to keep an eye on Luke, dropping off little gifts and stuff like that. And I just think he did a great job showing that this guy is having a tough time.
That's an Easter egg, because that gift that he drops off.
Oh yeah.
Is the ship that Luke has when he's cleaning the droids, and he's just doing the flying it around. That's the same ship that he has there.
Yeah, somebody pointed that out to me. It was funny when I saw that in the show. Man, that looks really familiar, you know. And then I saw it on a clip thing or whatever. Yeah, that's an Easter egg.
Yeah, I recognized it right away. I went, "Hey!" Now the issue I have is the second episode. So I love that they got Jimmy Smits to play Bail Organa.
I thought that was such a great great thing.
The fact that they're bringing all these actors back. He's one that has not aged as gracefully.
No, but he still looks pretty good.
Yeah, but he looks like he's had some health issues. I don't know if he has, but they kind of gave me that
Star Wars Babysitters Club. Come on, come
on. So in that one, basically the Inquisitors who are hunting out Jedi. There's one that is obsessed with Obi-Wan.
Correct.
He knows he's out
there.
Third
sister.
What's that?
Third sister.
Yeah. Reva. Or Rika. Reva. Anyway, third sister. She is obsessed with him. She wants to find him. She wants to bring him in. Period. Yeah. That's basically her only goal. And so she enacts a plot to kidnap Leia because she knows that Obi-Wan is friends with the Organas and that Bail will call on him to find his daughter.
Correct. Now, personally, I was so surprised that they were going to go that direction with Leia instead of
where I have an issue.
Okay.
Because Leia has no idea who Obi-Wan is later on in New Hope. When she sends that message, it is to someone she has never met. It is, you once served my father in the Clone Wars. It's not, hey, you rescued me from a bunch of fucking kidnappers. I need your help again.
Okay. Now, fair enough.
See you, Dutch.
Fair enough. See you later, Dutch. Thanks for stopping by, man. I think, and I see your point. I really see your point. But I also say an argument can be made that she wanted it to be a more of a formal request to General Kenobi. Nope. So instead of citing, let me finish. Instead of citing her kidnapping, which from what it looks like to me, they're trying to keep the kidnapping quiet. You know, they don't want it to be. The Organas even said, you know, we can't trust anybody. We got to keep this quiet. That's why they went to him. That's why she didn't cite that either, because it was something they kept quiet. It's something that wasn't, and if it got intercepted or anything else, she basically just sent out information that everybody knew, that General Kenobi that fought with her father during the Clone Wars. So,
but calling him General Kenobi right there made him into a Jedi, because the only generals during the Clone Wars were the Jedi.
All right. Well, even so, I mean, And for all we know, he's going to use his Force powers to make her forget at the end of the show.
And if they do that, I'll be pissed because Leia's too strong-willed and she's Force sensitive. That he should not be able to do that to her.
She's Force sensitive, but she's a fucking 10-year-old kid, man.
Doesn't matter.
And
the
he's a
Skywalker line has been established as being extremely powerful in the Force.
Sure, absolutely.
And Leia herself is so strong-willed. There's no way that Jedi powers only work on the weak-minded. They've established that as well.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll see. You know, Chris, sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of continuity for a good story.
No, you don't. You write a good story. You don't have to sacrifice continuity to write a good story.
You're an Inquisitor Reva. You're correct. Man, I will say though, once again, I'm glad they went this direction with Leia instead of Luke. I think that Leia, her story was greatly underserved in comparison to Luke's in a lot of ways. So I think this story is going to be a lot of fun. Personally, Vivian Lyra Blair, who is playing young Leia, is fucking adorable. She's fantastic.
I think the girl playing Leia is just fantastic. I think fantastic. She's phenomenal. For as young an actress as she is, she's
interestingly
amazing.
enough, I just looked her up. Interestingly enough, she will be 10 in a couple of days. And I saw when I looked at this, obviously they filmed this probably sometime last year. And so she was probably 8 or 9 when they actually filmed these episodes. And I felt like, man, she looks kind of young for 10 years old. She looks more like 7 or 8. So she obviously was quite a bit younger, but maybe they wanted to cast a girl that looked young so that by the time the show is over, she still looked 10. And if she does show up again, which I doubt they'll go that direction. This young lady is, yes, she was born in 2012. Oh my God, 2012. June 4th, 2012. She doesn't have a ton of credits, but she's got more than
let's just put this in perspective. She was born about a week after I met Renee.
Oh my God. Fantastic. She doesn't have a big career, but a lot, but she's only been working since 17. I mean, because she's only 10. And
Renee just said damn.
She's been in some various TV stuff. She was in what was it?
According to
Embedded,
this,
We Can Be Heroes, Station 19. She's done a bunch of stuff here.
According to this, she's in every episode.
Yeah, she's in all 6 episodes.
So you were saying you didn't think she was going to show up again. Guess what?
No, I mean, I didn't think she's going to show up like if they decide to have a second season or whatever. Apparently, no. What was also really fun to see was Kumail Nanjiani as Haja Estri, the guy who was pretending to be a Jedi in the second episode.
Yes. Well, and the lead bounty hunter is Flea.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, holy shit.
When I saw him, I'm like, that's fucking Flea. And I'm like, I have to look that up to make sure. And sure enough, it was.
Yeah. Now, they have also shown that a lot of these actors are in it a lot. Apparently, Kumail Nanjiani is in 5 episodes. So he's not just a throwaway character. He's going to be in a bunch. I love the fact that Kumail Nanjiani is, not only is he a Marvel character, he's a Star Wars character too.
No,
that's great. Joel Edgerton, who's playing Owen Lars, and Bonnie Piesse, Piesse, who plays Baru, are both also in all 5 episodes. Hayden Christensen will be returning, and he's in all 6 episodes as Darth Vader.
Yeah, but the first couple episodes, he's just a flash.
Yeah, right, it's flashes and stuff.
Now the Grand Inquisitor, I think, is really cool. And this is something people have a hard time with and have been talking about, is that Reva at the end of the second episode runs him through with the lightsaber.
Correct.
But we know he doesn't die Because otherwise that's a huge plot hole because he's in Rebels, which happens after this.
Correct. I've heard that as well, and I've heard several people.
And the dude that's playing him is phenomenal.
He's in all 6 episodes as well, so we will see him again. She did not kill him. I mean, he's obviously some dark Jedi, and is also strong in the Force.
Well, he's one of he's the Grand Inquisitor,
right?
All of the Inquisitors are Jedi who turned to the dark side.
Correct.
And now serve the Emperor.
Fucking cool, man. I thought he looked scary as fuck too.
Oh, he was badass.
And I kind of liked Sung Kang as fifth brother too.
Yeah,
the other guy. Yeah, he's a Korean American actor. He's done a whole bunch of stuff, Fast and Furious movies, been a bunch of those. Look at it. What else? Power, Code 8, Magnum PI. I mean, it's the dudes. It's a bunch of stuff, bunch of various different things.
Yeah,
but
the kid playing Luke's only in 2 episodes. Leia's in 6.
Yeah, so we're done with Luke. It looks like. I tell you, like I said, I'm very much enjoying that the Leia angle. I mean, she's freaking adorable. She was so cool. And although, I mean, my friend at work, Eric, he watched it and he was like, all right, the one thing that I didn't buy was that these bounty hunters couldn't catch this little girl running through the forest. And I went, wait. One, Leia probably knew that forest 10 times better than any of those idiots. 2, she's strong in the Force, and she's probably utilizing the Force subconsciously to help herself out.
She and that's one of the things that kind of establishes she always has.
She always has. Exactly.
And it's the same thing with Luke. That's why Luke could understand droids so well.
Right.
Because of his Force sensitivity. It's not
people that are strong in the Force use the Force. That's why, like, they say that that Jar Jar was strong in the Force, or at least was Force sensitive, because of all of his lucky fucking breaks that he got.
I think that's just bad writing by Lucas. That's not anything to do with the Force. I refuse to believe that Jar Jar had anything to do with the Force.
The point is that the Force, they use the Force to explain off a lot of lucky breaks. They even said that, like, the reason why Han Solo was such a lucky guy, why he got so many lucky breaks, was that he is also was Force sensitive. He just never felt it. He never believed it. And that's why, like,
simple
he goes,
tricks
almost
and nonsense.
Yeah. Well, he almost falls into the Sarlacc pit, and he catches himself with his ankles, I mean, things like that. The fact that he was able, one of the reasons why he was such a great pilot, strong in the Force. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely Leia, she was able to get away from them, at least for as long as she could, because the Force was watching out for her. Also, Eric didn't care for how she just took off running in that city, and she's gonna run away from the only guy that has shown her any kind of help or anything. And I thought it was a little too much of that was a cliche. Mm-hmm. I don't trust you anymore, and then just runs away. She knows she's in trouble, I mean, but so for her to just go running away, and for Obi-Wan to he couldn't catch her either. And I'm like, he's trying to avoid using his Force abilities. He doesn't want to he doesn't, on top of it, he probably hasn't used them in a real long time, not consciously anyway, I still got a big kick out of this show, Eric. I think this show is going to kind of make up for the kind of lackluster Boba Fett show that we just got, and they've also, right around when this premiered, they also premiered the trailer for the Andor show as well.
Yeah, which I still haven't watched. I got to watch that trailer.
It looks good, but it's definitely it's darker, and we're going to see an aspect of the Star Wars universe I don't think we're overly familiar with. So this will be, and it'll be the beginnings of, you know, of a whole faction of the rebels that we don't know a lot about. So
the other thing that's been announced, and this just came out over the weekend, I believe, is that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 is going to be coming out.
Yeah,
next year. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think
Survivor.
And the first trailer for that's out, and I haven't watched that yet either, and I need to watch that.
I haven't watched that yet either. I still haven't played Fallen Order. I have it on my computer. I actually got it for free through, I think it was Amazon Prime.
I got frustrated with it multiple times, and it's one of those games where, and we've talked about this, that I don't like games that when you die, they put you 15 minutes back because you only have so many save points.
Yeah, no, that's a drag.
I don't like that. It's the one thing I don't like about Horizon Zero Dawn. Although Horizon Zero Dawn, or even Forbidden West, there are plenty of save points. There are all sorts of campfires all over, and it auto saves you anytime you do anything big, like go into a cauldron or start a major mission. It doesn't put you 15 minutes back when you die. It'll put you a couple minutes back where you have to maybe redo something, but in
I agree.
Fallen Order, there were times where I would be playing for 15 plus minutes and get killed and wind up right back at the start of that, and I'm like, it got to the point where I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. Put me right at the beginning of that and let me try it again.
Right.
But don't put me fucking that far back. And that's why I've never finished it. I barely even scratched the surface of it.
Maybe they patched it since then. Do you have it for your computer, or do you have it?
I have it on the PS4.
Okay.
So it's on my PS5 now, but
yeah, for sure. I have like I said, I got it for free on my computer, so I'm probably just I'll play it on my computer eventually at some point. I got 20 games on this thing that I barely have scratched the surface.
Yeah, I thought about doing it on the computer. I've thought about getting Evil Dead for the computer and playing that, because it just, I'm a big fan, and I think it'd be fun.
For sure.
I've been playing so much Forbidden West. That's actually all I did on Monday. I actually took a day for myself. Renee had to work, so while she was working, I sat downstairs and played Forbidden West all day long. And Renee came home, and I'm like, do you want to watch something? And she's like, I'm watching you play this. And I said, okay. And I kept playing. So I played for like probably 10 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot for you.
It is.
And 10 hours of gameplay is a lot for anybody, but I mean, particularly for you. You usually don't sit down for more than four or so.
Right. I had a couple of breaks. Like not major breaks, but I mean, I would stop and go get something to eat.
That doesn't count, Chris. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I never left the house. I never did anything like that. Hell, I didn't leave the house today. Yeah, Renee, it's what she did today. But
yeah, don't. I mean, you should be proud of that. It was fucking sweltering, dude. That was rough out there.
It's been warm in here, with the doors closed, especially in this room.
Yeah, but
Renee, I'm playing now. She's playing the game and watching us. She doesn't have to work tomorrow. But so
Renee had to work on Memorial Day.
Yeah, she works for the government. And her job is 365, no matter what. It doesn't matter. Weekend. She works every weekend too.
All right.
The filters have to be gathered. Terrorism doesn't give a shit. But anyway, I played, and I looked today because I played an hour and a half or so before our show tonight, between work and our show, because pretty much I just used everything that I was going to talk about last week and just moved it over. There wasn't a whole lot of show prep tonight. So I played and I looked to see what it is. I am currently 64 and a half hours in, about
on Forbidden West.
On Forbidden West. And
I know that's like what, 5%?
44%.
What's that?
44%.
Oh, 44%, and you're 65 hours in?
Yeah, and I think I'm
could have swore.
I think I'm like level 35 now too.
Could have swore Renee had said that she's like 100 hours in and she was only like 20% or something.
She thought that. She looked today. She's 71 hours in and 50% of the way.
Oh, okay. Still, that's pretty substantial, man. She's 50% of the way in at 70 hours. I mean, she's still got another. So the game's probably anywhere between 150 to 200 hours of full gameplay.
Yep.
And that's probably getting everything. And because Renee did say something that game the other night about how she's a completionist. She's like, she wants to get everything. And I get that. I'm very much like that too.
So I'm 44% of the way through the game and 40% of the way through the trophies.
Oh, okay.
Is what it's shown me.
Very cool, man. I have it. I haven't. I have so many games to play, and I've got to get to some other ones
storyline is so fucking good.
Oh, I know. You guys keep going on about it, and Forbidden West or Zero Dawn is easily one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Story wise.
And this one, I think they take the story to the next level.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And
I'm really excited.
It's fucking amazing, and even the little stories in between are just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just discovered Vegas.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, one of the places you go is Vegas.
That's
the
cool.
ruins of Vegas.
That's cool. I look forward to seeing that. So,
well, the cover is her standing in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, the remnants of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right. Did they ever establish exactly where it took place? The first one took place, like what part of the country?
Yeah, it's Colorado.
Is it Colorado?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. The mountains and
the Nora are up in the Rockies, and then you go past them to get to the Karja lands on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if she's in Colorado and then go a little further west and you're down in, like New Mexico and stuff where it's a lot warmer, and then she goes further west into Nevada and California.
Oh yeah, you go through like the Sierra Nevada mountains, and because you still go through some mountains and stuff. And
right, yeah. No, that makes total sense. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to playing this game. Like, holy shit. I've got so many other games to play too. I've got a bunch of games on my computer I haven't played yet. I'm still buying games. Yeah,
and I'll tell you, dude, when you start playing this, it's gonna suck you in.
Well, and that's the thing. I know. I won't play anything else once I pick that game up. That's the way it was for the first one.
Yeah, and that's what I know is gonna happen here, is that I'm gonna keep playing this until I'm done.
I want to finish.
Then I'll be able to play something else until the DLC comes out.
Right. I want to finish Outer Worlds, because that's the other thing. I want to go back and play Cyberpunk again. I want to.
Yep.
There's still there's a bunch of stuff in the new Skyrim that I still haven't experienced for the new anniversary edition.
I want to get back to Skyrim. I want to get back to Cyberpunk. I want to get back to MechWarrior Online, because they just had a major update for that. Yeah. There's a bunch of things I want to do. I want to get back. I never finished Arkham Knight, and I've got it on my PlayStation 5 now. So I mean, I kind of want to go back and finish that. I got fed up with that one because of all the Riddler puzzles. I had to skip those, man. There's a bunch of them. That's the thing. I was about to. I'm like, I'm done with these, because it's like every other mission there's a fucking Riddler thing that takes 8 hours for you to finish it. Seems like it's just
a lot of those you can skip, though. A lot of those are not story specific, or you have to do them. They're just extras, man.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. It's worth it. The Batman Arkham Knight is definitely worth it. I mean, they're all worth it, man. Get back to Cyberpunk. The game is really good. I mean, it's very solid, particularly after they fixed it. I mean, now that they have fixed it, it's a fantastic game. And maybe I will hold off, doing another playthrough until early 23 when they finally bring out the DLC. I don't know. But with Starfield's coming out, and actually they did push that back too. It was supposed to didn't they? No, they did not push back Starfield. Oh, wait, no, they did. Originally it was supposed to be 11/11/22, but now they just recently pushed it back. So now we got some more time on that. And I know once Starfield hits, I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time playing that game as well.
Yeah, right now it's just showing 2023.
Yeah, they're saying Q1 23, and they needed some more time apparently. So, what you gonna do? Yep. We should probably start wrapping things up. It's getting late.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for joining us tonight on this return, our triumphant return.
Whirlwind episode.
Yeah. Again, I am sorry that we missed a week and had to get so whirlwindy caught up. But it shouldn't happen again for quite a long time. And probably not until like, October-ish when it's starting to get really nuts for me for work.
I think this year what I'm going to plan on is having, I'm going to try and line up multiple guests each week so that if you can't make it, that the show keeps going. If you get stuck at work, then
get some guest hosts in there, man. Do what Jimmy Kimmel was doing when he got COVID. It's just get some guys in there. Fill in.
Thanks, CD. CD just resub for the ninth month.
Man, thanks, man. We really appreciate it. We really do. You're a pal. Well, you know what? Maybe CD can come on and be a guest host one day.
Yeah,
one of those days.
We've talked about it.
We talked about it. We should talk about having our most dedicated fan and listener on the show. We definitely got to do it. Holy cow! Almost a year. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Remember, you can download and stream us on all the places you can find quality podcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Google Play. We are on iTunes. We're on Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the Odyssey app, radio.com. I mean, we're every place. I don't know. All of them. It's all good. Come and see us, guys, every Tuesday night here on Drinking Nerds here on Twitch at 8 o'clock. Every other Friday, we do Tavern Nights, our D&D game. Every opposite Monday, Tavern Talk. We try most opposite Mondays, Tavern Talk, where we get to talk D&D and talk a lot about our previous game. So be sure to join us. We do not have a D&D game this Friday, but most probably next Monday, we'll be doing a Tavern Talk.
The plan. I got jury duty next Monday, so I'll be
home
from that. So, yeah, I was going to take Monday off, and now I got jury duty. So I don't get to take Monday off because that was going to be my recovery from my 90 holes of golf over the weekend.
90 holes of golf? What's the matter with you? Jesus.
It's gonna be a blast. No, CD, I will probably never get put on any sort of murder case or anything like that. I have a law enforcement background. It was a reserve. I was not like I was a regular police officer, but I was a reserve officer, and that generally is an instant dismissal from any prosecuting attorney or any not prosecuting attorney, but any defense attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I did wind up on a civil case when I was in Louisville. I wound up on a jury for a civil case, and then they have 13 jurors and they pick one as the alternate juror, and I got picked as the alternate. So I had to sit through the entire case and didn't even get to vote.
What a drag.
Yeah. They're like, thanks for your service. See ya. You can go home now. I'm like, you just wasted you wasted 3 days of my life.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
But I'm hoping I only have to go in on Monday, and if I don't get selected, I'm done.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And I don't think I can be selected again for at least a year.
Something like that.
But yeah, so remember, you can follow us on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Instagram, Drinking Nerds, and Twitter at Drinking Nerds. We're on YouTube, Drinking Nerds. Pretty much search for Drinking Nerds or go to our website, nerdswithalcoholshow.com or drinkingnerds.com. We'll get you to the same place. And we have all of our socials on there. So
all of it. All of the things.
We also have links to our like the last 5 or 6 episodes on there of the show too, in podcast form. I should probably put a link to our YouTube page and stuff. I think that actually might be on there. I don't know. I'll have to look. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. So
yes, thanks again.
I think that's gonna about do it.
Right on. On that note. Until next time.
Slancha.
Slancha. Oh, that was a good one.
Okay. All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Good night.